I have Chintan Shah and Cecily Drucker here. We are talking about MonetaSuite. Can you guys introduce yourselves, what you do at the company, and let us know, what exactly this company does?
Sure. My name is Cecily Drucker, and I am a co-founder and the CEO of the company. Chintan is the SVP of Technology and Engineering. The company is developing a suite of productivity and revenue-enhancing tools for attorneys to be able to track, tag, and report their times for revenue and for productivity analytics. So Chintan can explain a little bit about how the products work.
So basically what we have developed is a plugin for Outlook, which is the most common email platform that people use. And the plugin works in a very simplistic manner. There is no start or stop of the timer. It automatically starts the timer when you start writing an email or replying to an email. It also imports information from your billing system. This means that you have got client codes, matter codes, and task codes that are associated with particular contexts. And we will import it, and then as soon as you type the name of the person that you're sending the email to, it will auto-populate the client and the matter code, and then it will go into your billing report. What we do is capture every second that you are spending on email time. What we have found is that email time is the worst tracked portion of a law practice. So we're trying to help lawyers actually consider how much time they're spending in a communication, whether they're using it for billing purposes directly or a flat fee billing. They can still use the software to actually see how much they're spending time on emails.
So is this mostly geared at cutting down on wasted time, essentially, and keeping track of everything that you're doing rather than giving people free services, essentially?
So I can look at it in two ways, and this is what we have got feedback from people, right, who have been using our software. One is it's a great productivity analytics tool. They want to find out, even with a small law firm, how much time are we spending on email communication overall, right? While in other cases, what they have found out is that it used to be the case that you call up a lawyer and your phone time gets billed. Most of the communication now happens on email. So now how do you compensate for the loss of the time? Mm-hmm. But you are helping the customers answer their questions. So do you bill them or not depends on how the practice is being run. But they definitely want to know how much time they're spending, because it could be used to figure out how much profitable they are, for example, on a particular project.
Right.
What our surveys have found, and we've had a survey running for about 6 months now on this, what our surveys have found is people are spending 2+ hours a day on email, and they are forgetting to bill at least half of it. Mm-hmm. So when you think about the fact that attorneys are forgetting to bill 250 hours a year, that's a considerable amount of lost revenue. And also, what it does is that the attorneys, at the end of the day, they walk out and they say, I've been here now for 9 hours, where's all my time gone? Yep. And so this is a way to help people understand where their time has gone. We also have a beta of the same product that is in the rest of the Microsoft Office suite applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, so that when people work in those applications as well, they can stay in the application and don't have to think about going out and tracking their time, because lots of surveys show that if you forget to bill at the end of the day, by the end of the next day, you'll have lost 20% of the time.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. And that 2-hour estimate seems like it's probably conservative. I'd imagine that there's much more than 2 hours being spent by some lawyers on the email system.
There probably is.
Yeah.
There probably is.
So now, how long ago did you start this company, and what gave you the idea in the first place?
We started the company just about a year ago, and what gave me the idea was the fact that I was beginning to see, and I was seeing, that I wasn't talking to people on the telephone. I was using email for all my communications, virtually. Nobody writes letters anymore. Very few people talk on the telephone anymore. And I was beginning to realize that I was not billing for all of the time that I was spending on client work. And I realized for myself personally, because I was practicing law pretty much full-time until about a year ago, I was losing at least $100,000 of revenue a year because of my inability to track my email time. So I realized I've got to do something about this. And you will not go outside an email activity to write down a 1 or 2 or 3 minute email. Mm-hmm. But if you stay in the focus and we aggregate it on the basis of a user preference, time period and you look at this and you say, well, gee, you know, over this month, I probably spent 3 hours on email with you and 3 hours on email on somebody else, and you aggregate it at the end of the month, you have a considerable amount of time. And the client understands us because the client is on email as well.
Yep.
They're not calling you either. They're sending you things by email. So they totally understand the electronic communication is what's the way, the medium that they are communicating as well.
Right. And so lastly, before we part ways here, what do you guys take feedback that people provide and kind of incorporate that into future builds? How do you respond to the client base?
We would definitely like to have feedback. On our website, there is a free download version, which people can try, and it fully has all of the features except that one cannot print or export the report. We would love to have feedback. However, we are also trying to be cognizant of the fact that we don't want to layer this with lots and lots and lots of features. We want this to be light, intuitive, very easy to use, non-invasive in their workflow activities. So, but we would love to have feedback on how it's going, how people are getting benefit out of it. There is an ROI calculator on our website so people can put in and realize how much time that they are not tracking and how much money that they are not collecting or at least not billing for.
Yep.
But we'd love to have feedback.
Excellent.
The other thing we're doing is also involving a lot of bloggers in the law tech space to try this out for us and tell us what have been their experiences in the past with timer softwares and how we can differentiate ourselves and add value to the client. Because what we, as Cecily said, the purpose of this software, the philosophy we're basing is that if it takes more than a minute to log a time for 3 minutes, nobody's going to use it, right? So we have to be intuitive. We can't have the users change their work habits, but still capture the information. And that's the philosophy we're following. And we've got great help from a lot of bloggers who are helping us out right now.
That's great. Well, thanks to both of you very much. Good luck with everything, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.